Hello, this is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe. There is breaking news in the Monique and Spencer Tepe murder case out of Columbus, Ohio, where Monique and Spencer were killed in the early morning hours of December 30th, and at the time was an unknown suspect. And they released surveillance footage, and you see this surveillance footage right here. And now there seems to be a good chance that the individual that you see walking right now is the ex-husband of Monique. And this is somebody that we've talked about since the very beginning, and it fits sort of the profile of what we were talking about, that the person would be somebody close to Monique and is feeling jealous of Monique. She gets shot in the heart, like she broke his heart, and then he shoots multiple times at Spencer out of anger. Now, I mean, that was just speculation on my part based on how the distribution of bullets. I guess they said she got shot once in the chest and he was shot many times. And the reason I think he is the suspect now is because Michael David McKee was arrested, and he lives at 2100 North Lincoln Park West apartment number 12DS. And if we go to Google Earth, that is over here in Illinois, right on near the water, right there in this apartment complex, right there. Okay, and then if we go continue reading the document, it talks right down here about the offense date is 12/30/2025 at 1411 North 4th Street. And I believe that is the address of the Tepe residence. And that's 1411 4th Street. And so absolutely 100% that this arrest is in connection with the murders at that residence. And let's just continue through. So it's 1411 North 4th Street. Michael David McKee, that's where he lives. And this is the Columbus Police Department with the warrant out for his arrest. And the officer is Russell J. Weiner. And it's for the offense of murder. And so there you have it. Absolutely connected. And the warrant was issued today. And it was ordered for Michael D. McKee, and it was created today again, kind of repeated information there. But so that really lets us know that Michael David McKee is the suspect and was arrested. Now, maybe he hired that person. Maybe they're that far down the road. Maybe he hired the person that you see in that video, but it's likely him. It's more likely that David McKee is this person right here. And here is a picture of Michael David McKee with Monique Tepe currently, but I guess at the time she would have been McKee after they got married here. And if you look at this guy, he kind of looks like he could be that person. You know, a little bit thin, kind of taller. So if you look at that picture, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell just from that, but if you look at it, it looks like it could be consistent with this person right here. And maybe he did go to a bar down the street and have a few drinks, you know, building himself up to do this. And perhaps he's somebody that maybe had the keypad number. I don't know. I mean, it seems like it'd be ridiculous to give an ex-husband a keypad number. So he probably just figured out a way to get into that house. All right, so now let's take a look at a video that was shot yesterday by one of the viewers of my channel named Tracy. She walked around the whole block. So this is for the people out there that would like to get a little bit better picture of the block. Now, before we do that, now everybody's been suspecting Michael David McKee as being a possible suspect, given the fact that there's recent activity regarding their divorce, etc., in the court system that was coming up. Now, I don't know what that was, or, it doesn't list what those hearings were going to be about, etc. And there was also, seemed like some domestic violence perhaps in the past, etc. And so it's not like it's major league sleuthing. This is somebody that we've all been talking about. I didn't put his picture out there because I didn't want to, like, in case he didn't do it, you just don't want to do that. We talked about it on the show multiple times. All right, so let's show you this though. This is the street right in front of the house. So on a map, it's probably right around in this area, walking. So we'll get to see right now. I put this out on a live stream yesterday, but it's always better in short form. People like to watch it that way. So let's go here. Try to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe zoom in slightly. And again, Tepe's house is 1411. It's the second one from the end. So it's this house right there. Kind of makes you wonder if this guy had been surveilling. I bet they have cell phone data where it shows that he's been in the area of the residence, much like Koberger, multiple times. So that's a Ring camera right there. And the individual Tracy showed everything around here, even where the camera is. Right over here, that's the camera that's out front. Apparently there's no video on that, or the Ring doorbell camera. Perhaps, I mean, there could be, we just don't know about it. And based on where the suspect is seen walking, it seems more likely that the person entered in, or now we believe it's likely Michael David McKee, who went through the back of the house. And a lot of people were saying, man, it's so hard to go over those fences. And it just isn't, okay? Especially these fences that actually have a place you can step with your foot in the middle on a 2x4. So the second one over here, the darker one, is the garage of the Tepe residence. And you go around this corner. Now look, you'd have to climb over that fence right there. And look how easy that would be. You put your foot there, step a foot onto the middle section, you're right on the top, and then you just let yourself down. See that? Absolutely simple. Not difficult whatsoever. I'm not even sure where these people came up with that. Oh, it'd be so hard to get over that fence. It's wild. And then here's the other side right there. You just step up there, go over, and this has a tree there, so it would help you, sort of be hidden a little bit. So perhaps that's the side they climbed over. Hopefully they did some DNA collecting or something on that fence. I believe he went over that area. It's also possible he went in the front. They have surveillance footage, etc. They just didn't put it out there because they actually already knew who the person was and didn't want to give it away. So they gave us sort of another image of him walking down this alley here that was more subtle. So this is the reverse direction that McKee would have taken. Now I'm saying McKee because he has been arrested for the murder, or the murders with an S at the end. And that could be him, could be somebody hired, but I think it's more likely just going to be him. It even sort of looks like him. Of course, like everybody always says, he's innocent until proven guilty. Now we're going to get a whole group of people that are going to go out and try to defend McKee over and over and over again. Come up with some alternate theories to keep the story alive. And we're just going to be putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So there is the surveillance camera right there. And maybe we can just go back a little bit right here. And then if you zoom in, that's the surveillance camera that filmed the suspect in that surveillance footage that was released. And then down over here, these are those downspouts. I thought that was a doorway. That's why I thought it was so unusual. But now it turns out that's just between two buildings. So those are downspouts on two different buildings there. And that makes sense. And this is that area of bricks that I wanted to identify when I was using Google Earth and made that video the other day, and you can see it in the video that Tracy filmed. So we're just right down here again, right there, right there. And so, you know, this is where he came from, that direction. All right, so I think they have the suspect now, which is Michael David McKee, the ex-husband of Monique Tepe. All right, so now we're just going to wait for all the pieces of the puzzle to come into place. We'll start off with the probable cause document. If you're a conspiracy nutter, you won't believe anything that's in the probable cause document because you'll want to create a whole new story and narrative so that you can make video after video after video about a case that actually has a resolution to it. We're just going to be covering it to keep putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. Now, we don't know what information they have currently, but I would assume it's enough to put out an arrest warrant and get a probable cause, so it's likely very strong information. Like, probably shows that his car was in the area, and maybe they've got other information that links him to this, and that he was a person that was obsessed. Now, I think this backs up what I was thinking a while ago. Now, let me show you guys something really quick. In this article by CNN a while ago, this part here always stood out to me. I feel like the people at the dental office knew that there was something in the background that was dangerous going on, and I think they knew it was regarding Monique. And the reason I say that is right down here it says, I don't know how else to say this. This is the boss, Valrose, from the Dr. Mark Valrose, from the dental office that Spencer worked at. And he said right down here, he says, I don't know how else to say this, but we are very concerned. This is very out of character for him, he continued. We can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing. Now, that's something that's always stood out to me, that sentence right there. Why would the wife not answering be more concerning? Unless perhaps you knew about a situation that was brewing in the background. And that's what I'm speculating on. You'd think, though, that you would have mentioned it in the 911 call, because that's generally what people do. Oh, yeah, well, see, Monique has an ex-husband and blah, 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 and just go on and on and on in the 911 call. He didn't do that, so I'm not absolutely certain, but that's something that stood out to me. And this is exactly the type of scenario that I was referring to, that she had a stalker, an ex, something of that nature, somebody that was very, wanted to shoot her in the heart, as I mentioned earlier, and then shot the husband multiple times out of anger. All right? So there you have it, everybody. I'm sure we'll be talking about it tonight on the show. Thank you for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.